Hey, this is Edward again. Just decided to record another quick story today. This is mainly for people who buy businesses or are ETA uh, people or people that are search funders or people that are business buyers or M&A buyers or acquirers, essentially. So if you're looking to buy a business, this is probably a good story to just go through to show you what's possible as far as uh, the kind of traits you would need to have to be able to succeed for this, and what it takes to go through kind of different phases of your journey in this process. So back in the day, a few years ago, we had a client that was from abroad. That client wasn't in the U.S. He was a guy from Nigeria, particularly, and he was living in Ukraine at that time. So what was interesting is when he started doing this stuff, he started to do it locally in Ukraine to essentially find some creative financing deals, some seller financing deals locally in that area. Because that market wasn't as mature as far as seller financing and creative financing and the whole model. It didn't really work out. He spent a few months doing that, and that model didn't work out. But the main trade there was he noticed the issues and he pivoted in a different market. So he never gave up on the idea. He just changed his approach and the market, and he went into US because we told him we've done a lot of deals in US, and the US market is a lot more sophisticated and it makes more sense, and there's a lot more deals available, and there's a lot more opportunities available, there's a lot more investors available. So we kind of restarted the journey back with that client in the US after he didn't have results he was seeking in Ukraine. So what was interesting is he was that type of individual that always found a way um, to get in front of people, specifically sellers, through emails, cold calls, and just being very, very persistent. And it's funny because he used to have a like a more of an Nigerian kind of accent, and a lot of people could immediately spot that and could immediately think that he was wasting their time and things like that, right? Over time, he started to gain the skills. He started to understand the language better, as far as like the M&A language. And I'm not talking just about the US kind of culture and all this stuff, but I'm talking about like the business knowledge and the M&A knowledge and how to deal with some of these situations as far as deals. So while he was gaining more and more experience, he was getting more comfortable. He was getting a lot more replies from the market. A lot more interesting people uh, were replying to him consistently. And I think an important part of his story is that he developed these skills by also being in the right network, not just by doing this completely on his own. Yes, he had the persistence. Yes, he was very proactive. Yes, he had a commitment level that most people wouldn't have. But at the same time, he was in the right network that pushed him to be able to do some of this stuff. And he was part of an ecosystem we built over time at acquisitions.com, which essentially allowed him to see more examples, to see more case studies, to see more investors doing deals, and that eventually gave him the guts to be able to go in the US and start doing this and start pulling this off. So eventually, what happened? He found an assisting living deal. He was focused on assisting living. It was a fairly big deal for him, and because he wouldn't be able to be foot to the ground operate that company, we essentially found a third-party management company that was specializing in assisting living management, and we managed to share with him a strategy as far as how he could convince some of these individuals to work with him, which was by offering them free equity as far as equity in the business we're acquiring. And if you want to learn a little bit more about the case study, just drop a comment down below with case study and directly message me on LinkedIn. That way I can send you this so you can listen to the interview that we've done with him in the past. But back to the case study. So I think He was always posting a lot of deals in the community. Eventually, he found this deal. Eventually, we've had this for a party management company. We started to look into lending. We started to look um, into due diligence, into accountants, lawyers to help him do the due diligence on the commercial side, the quality of earnings, the legal side, and so forth. And then eventually we kind of got into the bottleneck of like how he's going to be able to afford the deal just because he didn't have a liquidity, he didn't have the down payment necessary to be able to close it. And because he was so proactive in the community, in the network, what really happened is one of our other clients, which was another buyer, saw his activity level and his commitment to the process, even though everybody knew he failed in Ukraine and everybody knew that he'd done so much work. Somebody reached out to him from the network and was willing to essentially co-invest in that deal and actually help him get the deal over the line and get the loan and get all these things that he was missing at that time, being abroad. So they essentially decided to partner up together, um, and essentially get a down payment, get the loan approved, get the due diligence done, and close the deal. And they actually became partners. So what's interesting is if you keep persisting, if you keep pivoting based on your investment thesis and you don't actually give up on the whole process and you're in the right network and you keep finding deals, you keep looking at deals, you keep negotiating with people, you keep calling people, what eventually happens, the people that are close to you that understand how difficult this is, if they have other resources you don't have, they might just be willing to partner up with you. So that was a story that was inspiring for a lot of our buyers in the past, and I wanted to share with you. Hopefully, maybe if you're in difficulties right now as far as closing a deal or buying a business, uh, you can kind of resonate with some of this stuff, and maybe that could push you through on the other end to be able to close a deal, or to be able to find a community, or to be able to find an investor. So if you're looking for more help and you're not sure what to do, or maybe you're sure what to do, but you need just advice or support, just reach out to me on LinkedIn. Hopefully this was helpful for you, and have a nice day.